We interrupt your regularly scheduled program for this special public service announcement. Automation has long been touted as the key to human freedom from toil. Recently, we have seen a critical re-examination of this sort of prediction, in particular one by Maynard Keynes, the most influential economist of the 20th century. Keynes very much thought technology, alongside government regulation, would bring us ample leisure time, with the famous prediction in 1930 that we would be working 15 hours a week by the year 2030. 100 years prior to this prediction, Charles Babbage, prominent scientific thinker, designer of an early computer prototype which he never built, and notorious hater of street music, it not infrequently gives rise to a dance by little ragged urchins, had this to say on the effect of increasing mechanization. One circumstance which has produced this economy in the manufacture is that the lathe on which these knobs are finished is now turned by a steam engine, so that the workman, relieved from that labour, can make them 20 times as fast as he did formerly. A similar example from father of capitalism, Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations. However, even daddy capitalism expressed pointed concern for the division of labour facilitated by the mechanization in the very same 1776 tome. The man whose whole life is spent in performing a few simple operations has no occasion to exert his understanding or to exercise his invention. He naturally loses, therefore, the habit of such exertion, and generally becomes as stupid and ignorant as it is possible for a human creature to become. Naturally, labourers whose lifelong crafts were trades were being superannuated by such developments engaged in ongoing debate in the free marketplace of ideas. The true effect of the Industrial Revolution was summarized quite succinctly at its close by the classical liberal economist and philosopher John Stuart Mill. It is questionable if all the mechanical inventions yet have lightened the day's toil of any human being. I think a guy from Germany also wrote something about labor and mechanization, but I don't remember his name. Prominent science fiction of the late Industrial Revolution was similarly concerned with technology's effect on humanity, the price of progress, such as Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus, published in 1818 and considered to be the first modern science fiction novel. She carried the spark of radical inquiry from her mother, early feminist political philosopher Mary Wollstonecraft, who wrote A Vindication of the Rights of Women, and her father, one of the first anarchist political philosophers, William Godwin. During the mid-1900s, revolution was in the air. 1848 saw liberal anti-monarchy revolutions catching fire in more than 50 nations around Europe, alongside the publication of a little-known tract known as the Communist Manifesto. Screaming into the late 1800s was the Gilded Age, depressions and domination by the likes of robber barons like Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, Cornelius Vanderbilt. Widespread dissatisfaction with the status quo was pumping through the zeitgeist, and in response there came an efflorescence of utopian socialist fiction, including Edward Bellamy's novel Looking Backward, Gloriana, or The Revolution of 1900, by Lady Florence Dixie, William Morris's News from Nowhere, and Begum Rokeya Sakhawat Hossein's Sultana's Dream, 1905, a provocative proto-feminist social satire created by Begum Rokeya, who would go on to found a school for girls in 1915, which still exists today. In 1920, Czech playwright Karel Čapek put on his play R.U.R., or Rossum's Universal Robots, which is both the first appearance of the word robot, meaning forced labor in Czech, and also the first depiction of robots as indistinguishable from humans, deciding to kill all humans and take over the world, scooping the Terminator and Battlestar Galactica by 66 and 84 years respectively. Isaac Asimov's robot novels in the 1940s through 1995 became cultural touchstones of what became known as retrofuturism over the latter half of the century, with their presence becoming such a staple of the genre it need not even be justified. Sadly, even after centuries of depiction, debate, and direct action, as most of us can attest, given that we are all still required to work to live, exploitative labor continues very much in parallel with automation. Cute robot dogs or no. And now, back to your regularly scheduled program.